Hello everyone. Remember when we were young, we used to dream of making lots of money, owning a business, owning a mansion, owning fancy sport cars, going for a vacation wherever and whenever we want, all year round, without really breaking sweat. Sounds like living a fantasy life, huh? Now, let's ask ourselves, where have we come to today? Do you even have money for yourself at the end of the month? Or do you even know how a business operation runs? Or do you just simply crack under pressure and you avoid all these questions? Worry not, because there is plenty of time to change. How? By becoming a shareholder. How does this relate to a shareholder? Let's find out. So the story starts back in 2019 when I met my uncle. He shared me this very inspiring story which changed me. He told me he quit his old job due to he couldn't handle the work stress anymore. He had, he had some money left in him and he knew he needed some changing in his life. So he decided to invest 20,000 of his money on a private company, a bakery company. So the company promised him a dividend of at least 10%, which would amount to 2,000 ringgit Malaysia. He liked the investment because he liked the company's idea and how they run things and where the company's direction is headed towards. Half year passes by. During mid-June, the company hit a brick wall. Their sale was stagnant for about 2 months, but my uncle did not want to give up that easily. He told me he hold on to the shares very. He told me he act accordingly and he just stood by the share. So a year passes by, and to his surprise and to my surprise, the dividend rose to 15% and he earned a profit of at least 3,000 ringgit Malaysia. Now, this amount may not be much, but what matters most to him is how how the knowledge he gained throughout his entire time as a shareholder. As a shareholder, he learned plenty of things, which includes supply, distribution, and business operation, and etc. Through this knowledge, he was able to set up his own stall and made a fortune out of just selling breads. He made a fortune out of selling breads. Just imagine. Today I'd like to share you how we could earn profits from becoming shareholders, reasons to become one, and how it would impact us as a person. Firstly, I'll begin with how we could earn money from being a shareholder. Number one, company pays dividend to their shareholders. Companies are obliged to pay dividends to their shareholders. And some of you may not know this, but some companies rather pay dividends to their shareholders instead of wasting the money you inject in them, the money you invest in them, into some projects that are unattractive or unimportant. So, secondly, you could earn profit from selling your shares. So, if you want to know, companies make profit by through your investment, by investing the money you inject in, and through the money you inject in, their financial is less constricted, and their debt decreases. This will help company to perform well, and it will help return a higher share price. So those who sold their share in the long run would earn and would yield a higher profit than those who sold it earlier. You get what I mean? Secondly, being a shareholder helps us to discipline ourselves and to manage under pressure. How? Let me tell you this story. Let me tell you this. The Malaysia stock market is very volatile. During the COVID outbreak, the KLCR dropped points and they dropped very hard. This, for some of the players out there, they would have sold their share panically and unwisely. There are few factors that affect the volatility of the market, which are dividend rate and earning per share. These two substances should be monitored closely by shareholders. Secondly, emotion. Emotion plays an important role in the shareholder. Shareholder does not let emotion slide in past them very easily. They don't let emotion affect the decision making. They based on their decision is based solely on knowledge and experience. If one lets emotions like sadness just slide past through them, this will cause one to suffer loss and etc. Now we understand how being a shareholder helps one to handle the heat. Let us understand more the role of a shareholder. Number one, shareholders have the right to elect directors. What does this sound to you? This signals a very important voice of shareholders towards directors. For once, your voice will be heard. Your voice will be heard. You see, you can choose the best and well-suited directors that aligns with your vision, that aligns with how you see things in the future of the company, and through the understanding of you and your directors, you can yield and you can predict the best outcome for you and the company. Secondly, being a shareholder, it helps. Shareholders, they have the right to question board of directors. They have influence over board of directors. If you have issues concerning about the company, you can issue them directly. Unlike non-shareholders, they don't have the right to know anything about the company. For example, like my uncle, he knew where the butter came from what company the butter is distributed from. He knew the price comparison of everything. So through the knowledge gain, he was able to set up his own business firm, just through attending these meetings, these annual general meetings. See, these privileges are not applied out there. These privileges are not available for outsiders. It is available only for shareholders. We can all agree that being a shareholder offers plenty of privileges to oneself. As you can see, being a shareholder will bring out the best out of everyone. If not, it will bring the best out of everyone. I promise you this. It helps one to. There are plenty of benefits that one can gain throughout his entire time as a shareholder. One can become one by just setting up his own central depository account by registering online, and it's just one click away. From there, we can kickstart our journey as an owner of a company. There is no single soul out there that can complain on having too much money from themselves. Imagine owning a business and while fixing yourself as a person, as a human being, improving yourself as a human being, and making money along the way. I certainly fancy that. How about you? So I would like to ask you, let's be the change today. Let's be the revolutionary today. Be the change today and enjoy the fruits of success later on in life. Thank you.